Don't forget the maybe, baby. As Mike would say, same old show, just a new year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But guess what? We still gonna enhance it.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
I'm scared of dating, because what if we don't break up?
Or you could just send them a message and say, man, have you seen I lost my feelings for you?
Damn. Have you ever struggled with the breakup?
I've told some people, like, you know what, I can't do this shit no more.
Great person, but you just not for me.
Someone said, real growth starts when you're tired of your own shit. What we've been talking about, man, just being able to look in the mirror first.
The only toxic relationship I ever had is the one I had with myself. Everyone else was just a reflection of that.
Come on, Jesus.
Golly, what more do you need to say? You attract more opportunities once you are calm, because no one wants to deal with people who lack emotional control.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Maybe This Will Help.
I thought we was mature in 2022. That's my bad.
Maybe this will help. Will this help you?
Don't forget the maybe, baby. Don't forget the maybe, baby.
All I'm saying is we need to get in the studio.
Baby.
It's showtime. Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help.
Yeah, I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I scratch this man's back to sleep, but I find joy in being your rest.
In the comments under that original post, women was roasting her. I don't understand why people frown upon a woman really going above and beyond for her man, especially if he's been the man he's supposed to be. Because she said, as long as it's mutual.
Don't do something as long as it's mutual with me. If you don't feel like it's mutual, then just get the fuck on. Don't be with me.
If you feel like I'm not giving you that mutual thing, you're saying just leave?
Who you are is who you are. Be that until you decide to leave. But don't stop doing it and be here. That's a waste of everybody's time. And
if it's not truly in your nature to be love and kindness in a relationship, be transparent in the beginning so we can make the decision.
I've been with women before who exposed me to parts of myself that I didn't know that I had. Maybe there was never an environment created for me to even see that side. Because if I'm saying that that's not my nature, it doesn't mean that it can't become that.
If I love you, I can heal you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fellas, I think we did something last week, fellas. What's popping? What is popping, man? Hey, Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
I miss you.
Hey, Carrie middle name. Hey, Carrie, he gonna change his middle name to False Alarm. Carrie False Alarm Darrell. This brother he's a straight up.
Couldn't stay away long. I knew you'd miss his brother.
Hey,
That
so
brother.
listen, man, the way
What's
that
up,
God
bro?
works is we were doing everything on Sundays, shift. Now we moved to Saturdays, so I get more Sundays open.
Bet we're gonna do we changing the podcast to Saturdays, y'all. We changing the podcast to Saturdays just to let y'all know. Coming.
He said, "You don't even need to wait. I'm out of here."
They said I play too much, man. They said I play too much. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Because we have the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of this podcast here, I'm gonna ask him to give us our intro, and only the voice that you can do it in, bro.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the podcast.
I need a clean one. I need a clean one. Start that over.
Wow.
I need a clean one.
Did he stop him? Cut.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the podcast, where four beautiful gentlemen give you their aspect of love, relationship, life, the good, the bad, and the alimony, all from their perspective. How y'all doing?
There it is. I loved it.
Yeah,
even though Dub wasn't on the screen, I still need that audio. So when I make the commercial, I need that, man. I need that audio, man. I appreciate you fellas, man. Before we get into this though, man, we had an amazing show last week. We had a lot of people commenting, so we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But why don't we check in, fellas? I mean, this is something that we always do. I'm believing that some of you guys out there are new to this podcast because the word's been spread, and I'm looking at the numbers. What we do is you have 4 black men, like Carrie said here, expressing their feelings about matrimony, love, relationship, dating, and everything in between, holding each other accountable, brotherhood, and everything like that. It's just us talking on here. We're being real transparent. This is something that we do naturally anyway. Carrie had the great idea to put it on camera and put it online so people can get a sneak peek into the minds of men when they're in a safe space and what they talk about. So many people have been helped. We've been helped every single episode. And so that's what you're about to get a look into. We do allow people to come on, their comments to come on. If you say something of value, kind of like this. My guy, Mike D, what up, bro? I'm tuned in at work. That's Reggie Live Shaw.
My boy, what up, Reg?
But if you have something you want to contribute to the conversation, your comments can make it up there if they're adding value and hopefully helping somebody. So we just want to give you a rundown of what we're doing. The first hour of the show, we're going to be looking at posts, having an open conversation. Second hour of the show, we're looking at videos, having an open conversation. Tag somebody you feel like needs to look in tonight. Make sure you drop their name. Share this on your platform. Share it on Facebook. Share it on YouTube, so that man, we can just spread the news, because a lot of good content is coming through here weekly. So, fellas, let's check in, man.
I feel like this is a setup, because I don't hear you talk about no foolishness that we go through throughout this show. I feel like the people they're ready for this. Like, man, this is going to be good, and they seem so serious, and it's about to be a whole bunch of shenanigans. It's still going to be help, but
listen. My entire life was a big setup, so I mean, I just got to pay it forward. Got to pay it forward.
Listen,
so many,
things have changed when you stop bagging on everybody else. You just bag on yourself.
Right.
1,000%. I had all these hopes and dreams. This is where dreams come to die, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to. Die so that new ones can be reborn. New dreams.
Okay.
Out with the old dreams. In with the. When I was a child, I spoke. Thought, reasoned, yeah, okay. My man dreams now. I don't.
It was getting as dark as Mike.
It was.
Nah.
I wouldn't say. Nah. Listen.
Nah.
The inside of a muffler. I ain't go that black.
Wow. Okay, this is what we doing. Cool. I didn't know.
Brother, dark. They got an eyeshadow named after him. I tell you.
Is it Black and Sexy? Black and Sexy? You talking about that one?
I think it was.
First of all, I want to know why y'all know what color eyeliner. With this eyeliner.
He told me about it. Donnie told me about it.
I'm a photographer. I know some things. I know some things.
That's Donnie's excuse.
Donnie told me about it. I didn't know nothing. He
Mike used to be a hoe. I don't know. So while we check in,
listen, that's true. Hold on. We can do a show about that if you want to.
You better admit it.
You see who left.
Yeah. Why you ain't ready to admit it? Listen, we got to talk about the growth.
Has been my life. What do you mean? This was my job.
Fact, me and this brother have had some of this. Anyway.
Okay. So anyway,
wow. Let's ladies and gentlemen, we've come from a mighty long way.
Yes, God.
Yeah.
And we ain't looking for validation. We're just here to share what's on our minds. Check in, fellas. How was your week?
All right. My week was busy. A lot has been going on these last couple weeks. Stuff that I feel my circle in about, and I think I have my ups and my downs, but overall, I feel like I'm good. I had a conversation today with the gentleman at the bottom that was necessary. Had been on. Yep, that's him. Had been on my heart for a while. I had had some individual conversations, and then me and him finally got on the call today, and it's just a blessing to be able to be open and honest, man, with people that you love, and not have to, because I'm coming from a situation where I've never been able to just open up and say, hey, this is how I feel. I've always been like, I'll just keep it to myself, or like I told him earlier, it's no big deal, so I don't see a reason to talk about it. But just being in this environment where everything is shared, everything is talked about, you know what I mean? It almost, you guys don't let me get into my own head about things, you know what I mean? Like I'll ask Donnie something, well, did you talk to him about it? Or I ask Dub something, just pray, you know what I mean? It's just so much good advice that I'm not used to receiving. So just grateful for and Pookie too. Just grateful for the people that I have in my life, man. And
man, that explains your shirt though. No new friends.
100%. This was nah. And at this point, I don't feel like I need any. I feel like I got what I need in my life, and I'm okay with that.
I got like 12 personalities up in here, so That's 12 friends right there alone.
Yeah, exactly. I've met like 3 or 4, but
100%.
I met 2 of Carrie's, I think 2 of Dubs, so a couple of Pookies. So yeah, we good. We good. Yeah. I got hella friends.
We got a village.
Hella friends.
Hella friends. Carrie Durrell, man, check in, bro. Where are you at? You always traveling the world, man. Are you in the country?
I am in the country. I am currently in Florida. This is the drop off before we leave the country. I had to take little man back. He started his summer vacation off with Pop, so we had a good almost month of fun times. And listen, you said something a while ago, Donnie, when you were talking about moms and how God blessed you with each other. Mm-hmm. And he definitely blessed me and CJ with. Crazy thing though is this nigga is me. It's the weirdest thing ever. So I have to cultivate his mouth.
You're not doing a good job, man. When you and CJ came over, I've never seen anybody humble Carrie the way his son humbles him.
Agreed.
It's incredible. It's like having a child is a manifestation of one of those personalities. And CJ is exceptional. He is perfect. And just how it's like you looking at him like you've got to be at least 45 years old, man.
Right.
He's so quick and witty and smart, and he understands. And it's like all the stuff that Carrie didn't have. It's like
wow.
No, really. Here's the thing. I feel like I told somebody the other day. I feel like when you have a kid at a certain age, like everything that you know is already in that kid.
You said that to me.
It's gonna come. It's eventually gonna come out. It's just got to be cultivated. And I'm like, yo, like it's such a blessing because I get to teach him how to. What you have is great, but you got to know when to use it, when not to use it, when to say something, when to be a smart ass, when not to be a smart ass. I talk to him as though he's a little human, not a child.
There it is.
So
good stuff.
It has definitely been a blessing. So today my family lost someone. Well, I lost an uncle today, my dad's youngest brother, and CJ was able to spend time with him beforehand and before he even went to the hospital. Like it got bad fast. And today, having the conversation with him, because he spent some time with his pop, my dad, who Brian lives in the same house. Today, when his mom told him what happened, he goes, "Hey, Dad, don't worry about coming back over right now. Just remember the conversation we had at Granny's grave. Just take that time right now." And I'm like, "Who are you, little boy?" Like, I don't. Anyway, man, it's a blessing. So my the things that I look at as being hard or as being a trial has been so much easier with this little boy. So I am extremely blessed to have the circle that I have, a healthy circle. Like, that was something that me and Mike talked about today. Like, it's healthy. Like, it's so healthy that even when you think you mad, you're not.
Yeah.
And to be able to have a conversation. Donnie has this thing with me where we're so connected that I can talk to him about something and he don't say shit. Or like, if I'm in his presence, he'll just look at me. I'll know the answer. If I'm not in his presence, it's a conversation and he'll say a few things or not nothing at all, just listen. And so now I've heard myself and now I'm like, all right, I know what I got to do. So it's great to have a healthy relationship with men like this. What's going on with you, Don?
Man, I'm good, man. Sitting over here trying to add the show to my Don BG photo page. I never really promote that on here, but I'll let y'all know I'm a photographer. That's part-time what I do outside of working.
We have a section at halftime where we promote businesses. Now's not the time, sir.
What is happening?
Humble is the path. 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 Humble. I'm a humble this
neighborhooded you.
Humble. Humble is the path. Thank you, brother, for helping me self-develop. You are the thorn in my flesh, and I appreciate you. Humble is the path. So my week was good. I've been blessed with a challenging circle, a circle that challenges me, and I found other friends to comfort me. So we have what we have. I'm definitely listen, you can ask Dub, man. I've been telling y'all this for a few months now. I'm no longer trying to make things what they're not. I'm accepting things for what they are. And it's been one of the most freeing experiences. My week was good, man. Bruh, I done got a chance to hang out with my mom for the holidays. Me, her, and one of my really good friends went last night to see Thor at the theater. Man, it's just been a good week, man. I've recognized that I haven't really been passionate about going to work. It's like my energy doesn't kick in until it's time to go to the gym. And so because of these different workshops and stuff I've been sitting in, I had an opportunity to have a conversation. I guess I'm boring people because everybody keep dropping off. I don't care. Thank you for staying, Mike. But what
he said Jim. He said Jim.
Oh, yeah, because
you said. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Carrie wants us to have a topless episode so bad.
I finally got tits. Go ahead.
Humble is the path. Humble is the path. Humble is the path. Humble is the path. All I wanted to share with people was just, as we share on every episode, we talk about doing the work. Yeah, so this week I had an opportunity to do the work. I haven't been passionate about going to work, but I recognize that my behavior is following my beliefs, and my beliefs are following the emotions that I'm meditating on. And so I've made a commitment to rethink what I show up to work to do, so that I can get that spring out of bed in the morning. Because either normally situations as my immature self would be like, it's time to switch jobs, trying to do something new. But no, instead of abandoning and running from things that are unfamiliar and uncomfortable, as a man, I feel like God is calling me to look at it from a new perspective. Take what you've learned and apply it to this present situation. I understand how important the mindset is, and I love what I do. And so this goes for a job or a woman or working out or a nutrition plan, anything you're committed to. Oftentimes when challenges show up, you're going to have you can see them opportunities to exercise your creativity a little bit more, because that passion is still there, but it could be stifled by the things you keep meditating on that aren't feeding your passion. So it was a good week for me. I'm just happy with where my life is and what I'm doing. I know people have been asking me, am I married yet? Because I, made a commitment. I'm going to be married and have kids. Not yet. I've been working on reading before I do and staying in my halftime and staying in my lane. I knew it. Been working on staying in my lane of developing myself. And so yeah, man, all is good. I'll keep y'all posted. If when Dub gets back, we can check in, or we can just go ahead to the first one if y'all ready. We got people in the audience. Allie, what's popping? Paige, what's up? Amber McJellin, what's the word? We said what's up to your boy Felix already. What's up, Mignon? It was Reggie. So what's up to Reggie? We got other people in the background. We see y'all. You can listen in and check out the show. You don't have to participate. Hey, we about to jump into this first one real quick, fellas. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Ready?
All right, here we go. I'm gonna pick the first one out. Y'all get ready to pick out another one. I want to start here. Boom. That friend stage is needed. Y'all be in relationships with strangers. That friend stage is needed. Y'all be in relationships with strangers. Stranger things, man. How y'all feel about it?
Well, y'all know I'm big on friendships. I'm out here right now with one of my best friends and her husband, and she happens to be my ex-wife. So that friendship is huge.
So what if you calling her friend, but she calling you something different? Because what was that song by that Latin girl? She said that if we just friends, I shouldn't know how you taste.
Well, first of all, it's my ex-wife.
Okay. Special situation. Other situations. If I'm your friend, should I know how you taste?
No, you should never know how I taste. Okay? I don't know. Why did I join this show?
Listen. Nah. So for me, I think to each his own. I don't think it's necessary for everybody. I think that we've all heard or know somebody that married at first sight, stayed together, happily married for 40 years until the other person passed, or whatever the case may be. So I don't think that that's a prerequisite for every relationship. Me personally, I think I have to. There definitely have to be a friendship built before we can pursue something that's super serious. Now, I'm not saying we gotta be the best of friends and this and that, but there has to be some underlying friendship there for me.
So let me tell you what was taught to me. If ever we are operating from an agenda, right, to be friends first, to have sex within the first 30 days, to test drive this before I go into it, I was taught to always ask this question: what are you trying to avoid? Because whenever someone has an agenda or a plan, it's usually set up to avoid something and to experience something else. And so I asked that question: when you hear someone who is very adamant about being friends first, what do you think it is that either you have been trying to avoid or they have been trying to avoid?
Is it that they're trying to avoid, or is they trying to make sure that they're structured?
I'm sorry. Golly. Kiara said every week Donnie is on here eating the sandwich Dub's out here required. He can't get a sandwich.
That is good. That is good. Wow. Please put that in the commercial. That is good. Shit.
Wow. I'm sorry, Dub. I love you. Go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead. That brother said, I just want somebody to make me a sandwich, and he can't get a sandwich.
All right. Damn, that just threw me. Okay. Sometimes I think it's the security of things. I feel like if I hadn't have built the relationship that I built, and we have these conversations about our own personal experiences. I don't think if I had the relationship that I had with Kiana, things would be where they are now. The ability to give my son, we said from day one when we decided that we were done, that we're going to make sure he good. And so making sure he good requires us to fulfill the agreement that we're friends first before anything. So that means that, yes, you see me happy, I see you happy, but it may not be because of each other. Are you okay with that? Do you have the ability to do with that? Is our friendship worth more than your emotions about me or this situation? Because there's so much more beyond that. And so for some people, that's the foundation. And if it's a solid foundation, nothing can shift it. The house may break down, but that foundation is still there.
Okay, so since we go on, go ahead, Mike, because I got a question for you.
Yeah, no, I feel like for me, or what I perceive other people do it for, is to not get hurt themselves. Like, let me just dip my toe in the water, see how deep it is before I just jump inside the pool. You know what I mean? So if I can kind of get to know a person, maybe I can kind of gauge where they're at. Like Amber said, is this person really toxic? You know what I mean? Let me kind of just see before I just dive straight into what could potentially be a setup for heartbreak. Now, granted, you never really know within that first couple months, whatever, if it's going to end in heartbreak or not. However, for some people, it's just a mental thing. Like, if I'm becoming your friend first, at least, we have some type of bond before we get started with this serious romantic type of relationship.
Okay, so friends.
Right.
How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on. Friends.
Listen, I don't even understand.
Was that you? Thank you. Wow. Okay, so y'all definitely don't want me to run. Oh, okay, because
we back. Humble is the path. Humble is the path. Humble is the path. Jesus. My question to you is, that foundation you was talking about, Carrie, is solid. It can work. It can weather a storm. If you guys are calling friend the same thing, if you're defining friendship the same way. So what are you guys defining as a friend? I feel like I'm interviewing y'all.
Defining as a friend. The way go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say, because I have a very close female friend who has weathered the storm through exes, and exes not approving of her being around, but she's always been the one that has, you know what I mean, like I said, weathered the storm, if you will. And for me, that friendship consists of just being genuine and always having my best interest at heart, with no romantic ties whatsoever. I mean, I can remember when people thought that, you know what I mean, we had been together and messed around. I was like, no. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman, but no, that I just don't see it. You know what I mean? And just really being there and just a sounding board if she needs to be, you know, almost like one of my niggas, like one of y'all, just in a female form.
She is.
Carrie.
Because you know, okay.
So my question to you is, so let me rewind a little bit. I do believe that being friends first is healthy. I'll say that. I believe that it's very healthy. I believe that not only is it healthy, you should never stop being friends. As I'm doing my relationship coaching, I'm recognizing that people who are married and, you know, are coming to me coaching, trying to identify if they should get divorced or not. I'm looking for that friendship component, even in the marriage. Friendship, what is it about? You guys are easy flowing together. There's a respect there. A friend cares about you. They don't just care about us. Those are some clear distinctions that some people they lose along the way. Once they get that title, everything's about us, about us. Versus as a friend, my friend, like, yo, I got your back. I want you to be good. Whatever that means, I'm willing to take an L if you win because you my friend, right? And so some of those things start coming up missing. And so identifying what is a friend, or tell people what it is I'm looking for from the gate, I think that helps build that solid foundation that Carrie is talking about. And if you guys do move into a relationship or a marriage, never lose that. You don't graduate from friendship. You add to friendship. You add matrimony to friendship. You don't leave friendship and go into marriage.
That requires those uncomfortable conversations we always talk about. When you're defining what a friend is, even in those moments of, does this friendship to you look like, yes, I can see you happy somewhere that's not with me. That's I mean, it coming from the aspect of having tapped into a relationship with that. Yeah. Outside of that, even in there are situations where you have friends that there is an attraction, but there's nothing moved upon because of the friendship, because of the value of the friendship. You don't test those waters, touch those waters, cross those waters, because you value where this is. Yeah. And I think sometimes that's how so many things are ruined, because we allow ourselves to bypass the moment of desire for whatever fashion and run into a lane that is unknown. You don't know what that's like with this person. And that's not something you guys tapped into. It's not something you signed up for, nor did you have an uncomfortable conversation in regards to know, if this goes this way, how are we going to, pursue this? Yeah. If we go this way and it doesn't work, how are we going to pursue that? These uncomfortable conversations have to be had constantly in every relationship.
Yeah.
I say it like this, man. I know something that's been common is that people who become friends first don't want to ruin the friendship trying to see if they can be more than friends. I got a friend right now who says that if she see a guy she's attracted to, no, I'm not looking at him as a friend, because if I ever look at him as a friend, then there's nothing more he can ever be. That's her philosophy. That's her approach. I remember I was I had a really good friend. And the fear was that if we try to date and it doesn't work out, will it ruin our friendship? And I was like, how could it? If the friendship remains, if we continue to be respectful and acknowledge and walk in the same compassion we have been for 5 years, how could trying to see if there's more ruin this wonderful thing? And that in that moment, because I was in that situation, it helped me see how toxic people become when they get a title, if they haven't been trained on how to stay friends for the longevity of the relationship. Toxic titles can really pull the worst out of a person if they haven't been trained on how to walk in that.
That's a fact.
I dig that.
So what happens?
Welcome to the show, bro.
I must say bubbling and doubling.
Bubbling and doubling, man. I want to ask you a quick question, just so you can get infused in what we're doing. Do you believe that it's a good idea, as a best practice, to always be friends first?
As far as what?
There we go.
A best practice.
Everybody has a definition, because the post that we put up said that that friend stage is needed. Y'all be in relationships with strangers.
So post relationship, do you feel like that friendship is necessary?
You mean pre-relationship?
Romantic relationship. Pre-romantic relationship.
Do I think it's necessary? I don't think it's necessary. I think it may help, but I don't think it's necessary. There are plenty of people who get into relationships and that's what they want. They want a relationship. They're not just looking for a friend at that given moment. But in time, it develops into a best friend. It develops into a confidant. It develops into whatever it is that you want it to go to. So whatever direction that you guys want it to go is going to flourish and is going to, is going to develop into that. Now, not to say that it won't hurt having a friend first, but sometimes when you have a friend first, there's a hesitation on getting into a relationship and starting something like that because you have this thought process of, oh, I don't want to mess up our friendship if it don't work, blah blah blah. So
that's what we were just talking about when you came on. That idea right there, has that ever caused you to pause?
Yes, it has.
What was the fear in that moment?
Honestly, it was a while ago, like years ago. I'll say probably. Let me see. I'm 41 right now.
2 weeks ago.
No, it was probably it was close to 20 years ago.
6th grade.
It was close to 20 years ago, and my whole thinking process is, I know at that time I was still a dirtbag. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I cared about that person. You know what I'm saying? She was my friend, and I know I cared about her, and I know I was still a dirtbag. So I wasn't ready to be in a relationship with her like that because I didn't want to hurt her.
Dirtbags have feelings.
I was just about to say, sometimes it's even from a woman's aspect, she may know that you don't have the ability to be what you think, or to develop into or be what it is that she knows she needs out of a man or her man, but she likes you. She likes the moment. She likes what it feels like at that point. She wants to experience a connection or a physical connection, but there's nothing going to be. You're not going to make the cut. But
Gotcha.
That's the same thing with that Dub was saying as far as being a dirtbag. It's like, I know you're not going to make it. I know that we're not going to be together, but I like you. But I don't like you like that.
I like you, but I don't need you.
That. Right, listen.
But I mean, and that's where you got to find out, exactly what dance are we gonna do? Are you comfortable with doing this dance? I think that the thing that hurts people is when you go into it with a secret agenda to try to get over on somebody, to try to get all you can out of them, and say, "Oh, we still just friends." That's the clearest definition of not a friend. I think Pravina just jumped on. She said, "Could you define what a friend is? Because that's different to many people." I'm not. Mike defined it just a few minutes ago of what he thought a friend was, and I think that I agree that people need to define it. So we can think about that, but I want to go to the audience real quick and look what Ashley said. She said, "I had a guy say that to me. He was more worried about the friendship ending if we started to date and something happened. Sounded like BS, but I was cool since that's how he felt. We are still very close. Could be BS."
I was gonna say I get that, because to me it just sounds like you're anticipating something negative happening that would affect the friendship negatively. So in my mind, I'm like, so what is it that you finna try to do?
Exactly. What is it that could happen that could ruin our friendship? What are you about to do?
Right, exactly.
Well, you know what? I can't say it's not even about what you about to do. Sometimes when you put a title on things and you go from friendship to relationship, all of a sudden, just like we've already talked, things completely switch. Things completely switch. People completely switch, and they're not that same person that they were when they were your friend. Now now I have this title as a relationship, so now everything is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that you thought you had now is just like multiplied times 10, because like, oh, now I'm your woman, so you're supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to have access to this, and you're supposed to this, and you're supposed to that. So all of a sudden, sometimes these titles, when you give people titles, just like we've had the conversation about this before, when we give people titles, all of a sudden things change, and they're no longer that same person that they were when you were a friend.
Right.
And now you no longer look at them.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and now you no longer look at them in the same fashion that you did before, but you knew that there was a possibility of this happening based on personality traits, based on things that you've seen as a friend already. So now at this point, you see that there's a possibility of a shift, and you're scared of the shift because the shift may shift everything away.
Because we don't know. Again, I'm not gonna say we don't know, but have we been taught how to transition in between these relationships? Like me and my ex are still friends only because we were friends first. I always tell people you can't transition back into something that you never were. So if you were never friends and you date and you get in a relationship, it doesn't work out, you guys go back to what you were before you started dating, which was nothing. We're nothing again. You know what I'm saying to you? So I think that's, and for me, like to even go back to what Ravina's saying, like what a friend is, that for me, the difference between a friend and being in a relationship, what changes? I'm spending more intentional time with you, trying to observe from the position of a partner. Because even though I am partnered with you as a friend and we do things as a friend, we do life as a friend, I'm still not giving you partner access as a friend. It's different.
Right.
And so now I'm looking at you through a different lens of eyes, and it does become a little bit more selfish, because even the Bible says that a person who's single can just, keep their affairs and their devotion towards the Lord. But a person who has a spouse, their devotion is divided, because that is like, that's a person who has almost equal power over the organization of you. You know what I'm saying? They have equal shares as you do. Like you letting them in so deep to your emotions, like even more for some people than a best friend. And so there is some things that could happen in that environment that could make you look at that person differently, but to the point to where you don't even want to be their friend no more. That's interesting. Yeah.
I dig that.
We got another one here.
Okay,
Mitzi said, I have a guy friend that we were romantically involved in the beginning, but that didn't work out, and now he's my male best friend.
So go ahead, see.
No, go ahead, Mike.
No, because that's the next portion of this topic that I wanted to bring up. So we kind of touched on, pause, how we enter into a relationship as it pertains to friendship. But then let's talk about if we were once in a romantic relationship and we kind of like we became friends because we were in this romantic relationship. Now, how do we transfer that over to removing the romantic side but keeping the friendship? Is it possible? Have you guys done it? Is it difficult, but it can be done? Like, what do y'all think?
I'll tell you like what.
Oh. What you say?
Carrie said.
Never seen it work.
Okay.
I think it can work. My mentor couple taught me. They said the only issues that come in a relationships are the ones you bring in or the ones you guys create. And you can make anything happen with anybody. It really depends on what kind of energy and ideas and beliefs they're going to bring into it. It could work. I've seen people in some very precarious situations, and nobody really believed that this could actually work out and be something healthy, and it has. But that's because I'm exposed to that at a higher frequency than you guys are because of the coaching I do. I've seen some very incredible stories, and I'm like, wow, but I don't think that's the norm.
So here's the thing. In that, I do believe that that's a possibility of it happening. But I feel like when it's reversed, when you relationship and then you friends and then you transfer out of that and be friends, the
like when you relationship and then friends, or when you romantic and then you just friends.
Okay, well, when you've had any dealings first, when your dealings were with this person and it was not a friendship, it was I'm fucking with you, I'm dealing with you, I'm in a relationship with you. Something in the aspect.
Therein lies the issue. So what are we doing? So where are we?
Because it's not
because if we're supposed to be just friends, but we sexing,
no, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not. You didn't start there. You started sexting, and then you became, because that's what Mike said a minute ago.
Yeah.
You started relationship, and then
so you were a jump off. So a jump off became a friend,
girlfriend, jump off, whatever you were. It wasn't set on a friendship. The friendship, Mike said, then the friendship was developed, and now the relationship, the jump off or whatever, is depleted. So now trying to get back to the friendship, that's what I said I've never seen work. I've seen a friendship work because that's where I'm at right now. But in that aspect, I'm honest with Kiana. Kiana's honest with me about me and my shit. But in the other spectrum, my question is, are you really honest with the person then at that aspect about if they come to you about a man or a woman or whatever the situation may be, are you honest in your answer? Are you honest in your, hey, you fucking up? Or do you want to see this person happy-ist without you?
Yeah.
And that right there is key because it's like when we were in that romantic space and the friendship developed from the romantic space we're in. So now when you take that romantic space away, is there a genuine friendship? Because I was getting to know you. We were having fun because we were cuddled up and, I had your back because, you know what I mean? We were always together and I loved being with you and all of this great romantic stuff. But now when that romantic space is now removed, what do you really, really have?
And I think that's the clarity we need to get out there. We're not friends. We just having fun. And I think that the more we just are honest about it. Actually, you know what? See if y'all can answer this question. This is from the audience. I met someone Katina says, I met someone 11 years ago. We've been involved romantically for years. Not knowing how to label what we had, I'd call him my handsome. When I mentioned him, recently he was speaking to his male friends in my presence and he called me his homegirl. I felt all sorts of emotions. I speak to him. I speak to him still, but not as much and no more romance. Am I overreacting?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I was waiting.
You are being a woman and being emotional in a title.
Yeah, exactly. You gave something a title. You gave something a title, or you put something in a space that you guys probably never even designated a space for.
That's good.
And that's something that I was just now about to say. Sometimes you get into these situationships, whatever it is that you want to call them, and you're so-called friends. You can even be friends with a person first, and you get into this space to where it's crossed over and you're more than friends, right? So now you're dating each other, you sleeping with each other, you're doing whatever that you guys are doing. Then with that being the case, if it don't work, now because feelings are involved because you guys crossed over, now you no longer want to be that person's friend because you feel a certain way. Your feelings are still hurt. You're still trying to get over that person. You don't want to hear from them. You don't want to talk to them. And it's just like, it's not impossible to go from friends to lovers back to friends, but you have to understand that sometimes when you go from friends to lovers, there's a different level of vulnerability, intimacy, a different door unlocked when it comes to your feelings. So it may not be as easy for somebody to just say, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to go back to being your friend. It may not be easy for you to see that person or talk to that person or hang out with that person because there's still something in there. So
before you blast life away, Donnie, sometimes people don't want to explain to other people what doesn't need to be explained between you two. Meaning, if he called you his homegirl, he might not have wanted to have that conversation with everybody else that didn't. These might not have been his close personal folks. They might not have needed to know any of his business. But he said this for clarification that you're important. You know, you are who you are to me, but they don't need to know the aspect of everything. They don't need to know my handsome. Like, that's something you and your girls talk about. That's something that women say, and it's okay for you to say my handsome. He says my beautiful, and they like, well, nigga, what's that about? So you got the homegirl to get the conversation pushed away, and we go on with life. But you didn't hear what you wanted to hear. So now we got nothing.
So all I wanted to say is that that's Mike with the Devil's Advocate. Are you doing that for me?
Brother. I'm doing that for you, brother.
All I'm saying is that I can relate to where she's coming from. All the stories that we're making up right now, she didn't give us those details, but she did say, am I overreacting? I will say that you do something that I do, Katina. You're romanticizing. And that is usually when you're an independent contractor, but you're trying to operate like there's a contract of longevity. Like, okay, I'm in this with you. We are partners, but I'm not. I'm usually just hired for like an independent. What's happening here? Oh, I say this because my roommate, we had a convo about marriage, and I said I can see myself with him in that manner. His response to me was, "Speak that into existence." I say, well, let me focus on this part, and then we can talk about existence and who she is. I I would say like this. I have a tendency to, like, if I have a really good day with somebody, romanticize, and I can see myself with them. I see myself as their man. I can see the things, and it happens to me often. Ever since I was a kid, like, I romanticize very easily. It's poetry and it's everything. But as easy as I can fall into that space, we have a bad day together, I can see myself never talking to you again.
Right.
So that's something that I'm definitely working on. But it's the romanticize, and I wouldn't say overreacting. I wouldn't say that at all, because that tends to put you in this really negative space when what you're trying to do, you're really operating from a very, I believe, a purely intentional place. You just lack the proper communication and boundaries. But I don't think it's a negative thing. I don't think it's overreacting. I think that you just had to do a check-in with yourself and realize that, I haven't had the needed conversations with this guy about what my expectations and my boundaries were. So I think that's what's lacking in that moment.
So in other words, you saying that your ass overreacted.
I was gonna ask. So you think the I think she said that she doesn't talk to him as much anymore. So basically, she's kind of scaled back. You think that that's an appropriate reaction? You don't think it's overreaction?
Yes, I think it's an appropriate reaction, because she
Without
said
the communication?
Yes, still, because they're not partners. So as an independent contractor, I can pull my contract whenever I want to. She said that she got in what she said about her feelings. She said, I felt all sorts of emotions. And I believe that when you're feeling all sorts of emotions, it's appropriate to pull back and get within yourself, have a conversation within yourself to identify, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Because when I go and talk to that person, I need to be able to communicate where I'm at. The mistake I see a lot of people make is that they'll just explode and just go and talk to that person without checking in with themselves first. And that it usually comes off as trying to villainize the other person. Oh, I'm this victim. Sometimes if you just self-reflect for a moment, I'm in my feelings. I don't really talk to you as much as I used to because I'm processing right now. Before I say something I might regret, I'm processing. So when I do come talk to you, I can give you some accurate information. And I might come at you, be like, what, I played myself. That was my bad the last few weeks for not, being as available as I used to be. But I had to process something. And I feel like we need to hold space and grace for people to do that, because we all do it.
So then here's my thing. If this is something you need to process now, while I'm having this conversation with me, you never had the conversation with me. You never said nothing to me in regards to saying this or what I am or what I am explained as to be, or that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Never had. That was never had. So now I'm being held accountable for something I didn't even know I was going to be held accountable for.
Yes. And the reason I have so much grace for people like that, because I know that I've done it, and I do my best to recognize, and we talk about this on the show often, that we humans, and we go, and people haven't learned these skill sets. They didn't have maybe the circle or the parents to teach them how to process their emotions and still have a conversation. I'm not making excuses. I'm just being realistic. Like, we all struggle with certain things. So I try to hold space and grace for people and not take it personal.
I agree with what you're saying as far as holding the space and grace, but case in point, today, there was an issue that I was holding, and I called myself just going through the process and processing it within myself before I went to my brother about it, right? But he made a very valid point. That's fine, but just telling me you process, just tell me you processing stuff, and you'll get back to me.
What if you don't have it within you to even do that? What if you are so deep in your emotions you can't even do that? Can you still have space for me?
Being deep, but see, processing and being deep in your feelings is two different things.
What do you think you're processing? You processing those deep feelings that you in.
I hear what you're saying, but is it I'm hurt, so I don't want to talk to you right now, or is it I'm really trying to do some inner work and figure out what's going on?
That's the outcome of the process, and to find out the answer to that question.
Gotcha.
So here's my question. Do we not preserve relationships in the process of me trying to
Carrie?
Yeah.
Have you ever been so angry or so in your feelings that you didn't care about preserving any kind of relationships around you? If the right thing is triggered inside of you, you don't care. I don't care about nothing. I don't care. I go to jail tonight.
If we're honest, that part is the outer core, but the inner core, to yourself, like, this nigga pissed me the hell off, but the core of this is I love this nigga. You know what I mean? Like, so no matter how mad you are, there's still a piece of you that goes, because if that's the case, there would be absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So listen though, but do you understand that every emotion releases a chemical into the body? It's almost like being drunk. You can think all you want about what I should be doing when you're drunk. But if the majority of your body is already given over to the alcohol, your best intentions are not coming forward. The alcohol has you. When I say someone's in their emotions, the emotions have them. They may be having that rational thought, like, this is not healthy, I shouldn't be doing this, but they're drunk on the emotion, just like they're drunk on alcohol. And that's what I'm saying. Like, because we all have gone through that, recognize that in that moment, they're not sober minded. So don't expect sober conversation from them and sober behavior.
Yeah. And that, okay, I hear what you said. I get you. I guess I feel like, how long is that moment supposed to last before you hit me up and say, just give me a minute?
So if I'm your friend and I'm no longer thinking about what I want, if I'm your friend and I'm saying, yo, what's best for you? Take 6 months, take a year, whatever you need, because I'm your friend. I'm not going to take it personal.
I agree with you, but if I don't know, and because you're not saying nothing, how can I give you that? So how can I be that friend if you don't say nothing to me?
Now you got to be careful not to get into your feelings because you're not getting the
Very
norm.
true. Very
so
true.
You see how it can it can be contagious, and now you can be in your feelings, or you can take a stand and say, I don't know where they're at, they're MIA, but I'm going to think the best until they hit me up. You can always make that choice.
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
Choices, man. Like we said in the group chat the other day, small choices have big impact on us. We can always choose to not take it personal and say, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to think the best. I didn't hear from Carrie. I could have been like, this nigga gonna hit me up. He don't never hit me up. He called me and be like, yo, my uncle died and I'm feeling stupid because I was over here mad at him for not hitting me up and he's dealing with something. We can always choose that other option and keep ourselves out of toxic emotions because we really don't know at the end of the day.
I hear you. I swear I hear you. But then I would say, but then I would say that same goes for my sister that made the comment. Just don't automatically jump on, you know what I mean, something being negative. How come she couldn't have just gave him that space and that benefit of the doubt? Like you're saying,
I agree
that we should give to, you know what I'm saying? Like it gotta go both ways.
It'd be nice if it went both ways at the same time.
Yeah.
It would be nice. It don't have to, because then that goes to our conversation from last week about it has to be reciprocated.
Right.
Don't do it as long as I.
Yep.
Who had another post, man? One of you fellas put up another one before we go into halftime, because this was good.
Mike.
All right.
Mike, the one you asked for, I put it on there.
Did you make it, or you kind of just?
No, I took the post you gave me. Asked for.
Can you put it up if you see it?
Well, it was this one, right?
Was it?
That's the one you. Oh, or it was this one.
That's the one I put up.
Oh, no, this is the one you gave.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, go for it, bro.
What are your thoughts on this situation? I asked this woman I've been talking to for a minute for $100. I get a what do you need it for? When do I get it back? A whole bunch of questions. LOL. I planned a trip for us in the mountains in Colorado for 4 days. Hotel cost per night was $200. Whitewater rafting $150 per person. Zip lining $125 per person. Hot air balloon $250 per person. SUV rental $80 a day. Not to mention food costs. I had it all covered. I had all of this covered. Just canceled everything and got my deposits back. I didn't need the $100. I was just seeing what type of response I get if I asked for it. I didn't ask when do I get my money back when I was planning the vacation. I was just handling business. People don't think long term. Test failed. So basically, in a nutshell, my brother was playing games, trying to do these little tests to see this and see that. And in his mind, she failed the test. I mean, have I done that kind of stuff before? Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel now, being the age I am now, you can't tell somebody's intention based on that one interaction. Like, I don't think I would be willing to throw everything away because that was the reaction. Should a conversation have been had about it? Yeah. But I'm canceling everything. This whole thing over. F this. Nah, I don't think I would have went that far.
I'm going to still GTD, but it ain't going to be the same.
Yeah. Um, so here's my take on this. I wouldn't necessarily say he was playing games, and I see these comments in the comment section he's playing games, very immature, and all kind of stuff like that. He done all that, right? He done it on his own. Even if whatever his test is, whatever he chose to say, okay, well, this is the way I'm going to test, because you have no idea how much money he, was going to spend on her, what he was trying to plan for in his future. And if he was just saying, okay, you know what, I'm just trying to see if this woman has my back. If I'm in a position to say, hey, baby, I need this, are you going to give it to me? But instead of her just giving it to him when he say, hey, I need this, it doesn't matter about, what I'm saying, the whole point of it being a test. It shouldn't even have to get to the point where it was so-called a test. I was just testing you. I was canceling. If he reaches out to her and says, hey, baby, if we're dating, we're doing this, doing that, or whatever, he says, hey, I need this. And her response is like, oh, well, what do you need it for? When are you going to give it back? What is this? What is that? Like, fuck it, I don't need it. Whether it be a test or not, if I'm coming to you, especially as a man, if I'm coming to you and I'm asking for something, it's because I need it. And for the response from my woman, for somebody that I'm dating or talking to, and it's not to say that I would even, go and condone the test. I'm just saying, looking at it from every given angle and aspect, for somebody to just say, and I saw all the comments, I saw that before, and all the comments and women are, oh my God, he's just this and he's just that, and he's just this and he's just that. And it's like, it's expected for a man to go out on his way and do everything and spend all this money and take care of you and doing all this just for the simple fact that you have a damn vagina. He just simply asked, said, hey, you know what? I need $100. Can I get $100 from you? I'm not saying, hey, he didn't say, I need $100 to go towards this trip. He didn't say, hey, I need $100 to take you out. He just said simply and plain, hey, you know what? I need $100. Can you help me out? And her response is, oh, what do you need it for? When I'm gonna get my money back?
For me, before Donnie gets into this, when you wait, we already know he sits back and goes, ah. But I feel like, just honestly with me, if I have to play this game, I don't want to play this game. Period. If I have to go back and forth, if I have to figure out if I gotta figure it out, then I don't even know how we even got to the point where I'm planning all of this.
Drop the mic. You see that? Drop the mic.
Sometimes you gotta test these bitches.
Oh God! All right, Jay.
Well, there it is.
Jay was definitely a pimp in her past life.
Listen,
100%.
Wow, and she has people that agree.
This is what I'll say. Nowadays, you call it whatever it is that you want to do, and I'm not saying that I condone it, and I'm not saying this, but if I know that I have a lot, I'm not just going just up front, just give it to somebody just because. If I know that, whatever it is, and like I said, I'm not condoning the whole test aspect, but I mean, we have to check the temperature of where we at today. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, look at what's going on out there. You got people on social media that's all they talk about is money. Oh, is this nigga gonna fly you out? Is this nigga gonna do this? If he ain't buying you Birkin bags and he ain't buying you this and he ain't buying you that, and it's like, it's take. If he just simply said, hey, you know what? I need this. Whatever it's from, even if it wasn't a test, even if that wasn't a test from that man, if that man was simply saying, hey, I need this, simple and plain. If he didn't have no money, if he just simply just saying, hey, I need this, and her whole response is, well, what do you need it for? When am I going to get my money back? Wait a minute. If you and I are doing something, why is that the first thing that you say to me? Test or no test? So
here's what I'm hearing, man. Nope, that's not it. I want to make sure I got it right. She said, when do I get what you hold on. I get what do you need it for, and when do I get it back? A whole bunch of questions. And so again, we don't know her situation, her financial situation. We don't know why he felt like he wanted to test, but this goes back to what we said in the beginning of the episode. What are they trying to avoid? For me, when I look at this, I see a fear. I see a fear of his because he tried to test her, so he's scared of something. And with all those questions, maybe there was a concern or a fear on her side as well. Here's what I think is unfair. You don't test people on information you haven't given them the answer to. I feel like you're being set up. That's not a test.
That's
you're only
good,
tested on information that you've been given. Because if you haven't been given the information or the answers, then it's not a test. It's a setup. That's not what you do. A test is to review the information that I've shared with you to make sure that shit stuck.
That's good.
That's not a test. That's a setup.
Damn.
Yeah, some stuff is just obvious. You just know the answer to some shit off top. You know what I'm saying? Some shit is just like if I say, hey, if I put a nigga in front of you, asshole naked, you a woman, I put a nigga in front of you, asshole naked. Do I have to tell you not to fuck this nigga? Do I have to tell you not to suck him off? You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff is just obvious. You don't tell everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everything is not okay. Well, do we have to go over this? No, everything is not. No, like some stuff is just like, and I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Granted, I get it. But going back to what I was saying before, like if he was just, even if it wasn't about a fucking test, even if it wasn't about no test at all, even if he just needed the money, and it's saying at the beginning of that thing, he's saying we've been talking for a minute. Right, so it wasn't no just boom. They just start talking. We've been talking for a minute. He comes to his woman and say, "Hey, I need $100." Right. So obviously, if he's already been talking to her for a minute, he's kind of observed some things. So
what if she don't have it?
If she don't have it, just say I don't have it. Just say I don't have it. Don't say what am I going to money back you need it for.
So
wait.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. No, you got
all the questions that she asked. I mean, and this is just devil's advocate in this aspect. All the questions that she asked, what if she was asking because she was willing to go out and get it, but she might have had to borrow it from somebody else.
Okay.
But you didn't give her the ability to do so because you cared about all of these damn setup questions that you gave her already. And so now her response is not meeting your standards for that. And so now we've thrown away all of this because she didn't have it. She was trying to get it, but you don't know because you only took the frontier.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you something, Carrie. I say, Carrie.
I'm not giving her shit. No, go ahead.
No. I'm not talking about her. I'm not talking about her. If I give you mine right now, if I asked you right now for $100, are you gonna ask me what am I gonna use it for when you're gonna get it back? Even if you didn't have it right now, if you had to go get it, are you gonna ask me what do I need it for and when you're gonna get it back?
Nah, but that's different though, bro.
How is it different?
We're not fucking.
They've been fucking.
That's what I'm saying. We not fucking.
But that's all the more reason, bro. That's all the more reason. They've been talking.
Whoa, that's all the more reason because they wait a minute.
No,
that sounds like prostitution to me.
I think Dub is saying that because they have that relationship, all of those questions shouldn't be asked.
Yo, having sex with somebody is not a relationship.
Thank you. Number one.
It is a type of relationship. I don't give a fuck about what y'all say.
It's an arrangement.
It's a type of relationship.
It's the same kind of arrangement. It's the same kind of relationship I have with the people at Taco Bell. I drive through, give them my money, they give me my meal.
But look, is it the same? Is it the same relationship?
2 bags of fellatio.
Listen,
what?
Listen, is it the same relationship as this? The relationship with her edges, is it the same type of relationship with the edges in her forehead?
That's a much tighter relationship we're talking about.
Okay. All right.
Random.
But I feel like this because even when people call me and I'm talking about close family members, when call me and ask me for money, if I know, okay, I got some padding behind me, I could just do it. Cool. I'm not gonna ask no question. But if I know I wanted to save, I wanted to do this, I got this coming up, then I might be like, okay, when am I gonna get that back?
I was in a relationship, bro, and my ex did the same thing. She went to a financial literacy course, and she actually ended up getting a financial coach. And her coach was talking to her about her finances because she was trying to get her credit right and did some things in order. And so she's a generous person, but she had to steward differently in that season. I'm not saying this is that woman's excuse, but I am saying as we read that story, and so much room is left for me to assume it really does look like a setup. To me,
my nigga could have just asked.
So why she didn't just say, "Baby, I don't got it"?
Why he didn't just ask her?
I'm saying they're both wrong. I'm saying both of them.
Yeah,
I'm not pushing the testing shit. You know what I'm saying? So I hope nobody. I'm just pushing the whole testing shit. But what I am saying is I understand. And a lot of people are quick to just say, oh, he's wrong. That's immature. He's playing games. No, the fuck it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really want to talk about game plan, how many motherfuckers really get into a relationship or dating people without playing games? With just being completely who they are up front. So if you want to talk about playing games, okay, girl, when I first meet you, I don't want to see no lashes. I don't want to see no lace fronts. I don't want to see no this and all that because you playing games. You lying to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy that people want. Yeah, exactly. It's so crazy that people want to point out, you know what I'm saying, his thought process of, okay, you know what? Maybe I have a lot to give to this woman and I want to make sure that she has my back like I'm having hers. Because apparently I'm spending all this money to take her on a trip.
But didn't we say last week that it doesn't have to be just so that she do that? If he's a generous guy, he should just do it no matter what she's doing in return.
Absolutely.
We just had this conversation last week.
Absolutely right. You're 100% right. Yes, do something because you want to do it, not because of something. Right. And apparently, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, whether he was doing it because of something else or she was doing it because of something else, who knows? Maybe that's not them. Yes, we absolutely did have that conversation. And I do still stand by that. Hey, do something because you want to, not because of, oh, if you do this, I'll do that. And I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying, even when it comes, even with, if you just look at brass taxes, right? Even if you just look at it from him not even testing. Because see, that's the only part that people are looking at. They're not even looking at the whole fact that they said from the beginning, they've been talking for a minute. He asked his woman for $100 and her response was, what do you need it for? When am I going to get it back? The only thing people are paying attention to is the ending part when he said it was a test.
Okay, fair enough. Unpack the whole story.
Unpack the whole story. Don't just take little bits and pieces. Oh, that's fucked up that he's testing her. No, look at the whole story.
But again, what if she only had $100?
Right.
Okay.
I remember my yes, I agree with that. Just there was a lot of questions afterwards. It could have been handled better on both sides. I remember asking my grandfather for money, and he said, "Did you go to the bank yet? How hard did you? What else did you do to try to get this money before you came to me? How resourceful were you before you just came and asked me for it? Doesn't mean he loved me any less. And I sure enough wasn't testing him. I needed it, but it was some kind of lesson within that. I'm not saying that that's what she should have done, but this goes back to what we say in every episode. Better communication. Before you say she failed the test, before, you know what I'm saying, you asking all these questions, communicate. Just communicate.
Because if she asked me, did I go to the bank first? When she wants some peanuts, I'm gonna be like, hey, did you go to figure? No, cool.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, it is halftime. We barely made it, but nonetheless, we've made it to halftime. Gee whiz. Mike, go ahead, start it off. I'm gonna get my halftime together.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to you guys for sticking around this long. Like we usually do about this time. If you know anybody that's not tapped in, let them know that we're going to be on for another hour. Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Please like, share, let somebody know, tag your homegirl, your homeboy. For the men and women that are still here, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Go ahead and follow our IG page. Maybe this will help the podcast. There you can the memes that we get, some of them we find on our own, some of them that the viewers, you guys, send them to us and we try to get them up. So feel free to on Facebook and on IG drop those memes in the DM if you want to. You want us to cover those on the next episode. Donovan D. Daniel, are you ready?
Yeah, baby, I like it like that. I like it like that. Cash App. If y'all want to donate to the cause, don't worry about these two brothers down here looking. They both got
right.
Crazy.
Golly.
Me and Mike.
That's how you know when niggas got money. They don't give a damn. They already got their pockets full.
If you want to send us $100,
listen. Donnie look like he been in the gym doing curls. He'll do a full workout section on. Didn't you say you was doing your OnlyFans? You said that on the last show. Did Donnie not talk about his OnlyFans on the last show?
I did, and I
So,
told you it wasn't gonna be nothing X-rated on there. I'm just, trying to pick up some
dude, we're trying
ducats.
to get money right now, bro. Come on,
Ducats in the buckets. Listen, Cash App. We got a Cash App. Maybe this will help. If you love what we're doing and you want to help us stay online, go to Maybe This Will Help. $ Maybe This Will Help. If you don't have Cash App, go to Maybe This Will Help the podcast at Gmail, and we can let you know about Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. Maybe this will help.
And
The podcast
obviously,
at Gmail.
It's a lot you missed
OnlyFans. Jesus.
Huh?
Yeah,
I said, and obviously OnlyFans. I missed a
maybe
lot.
this will help.
Listen,
Shit,
listen,
what are you
listen here,
helping?
man. You need to have buckets ready for when it's time to make that. Listen, I'm just taking back territory for
Why
the
is
kingdom.
she in the dark though? Why is she in the dark with the phone?
Oh, you know why she in the dark?
That's the best place to see your screen.
It looked like
Every halftime we shout out a small business. I'm shouting out my own small business, not that business, not small.
Hey.
But here we go. If you want, I don't always promote my books like I should, but I need to start doing it again. For those of you who know, I am a certified ACTP life coach. I specialize in leadership, relationships, and entrepreneurship. If you want insight on any of the topics that I was just talking about right now, you can go get my book, Before the I Do, Are You My Happily Ever After? Before the I Do, Are You My Happily Ever After? It's all about being suitable for someone and finding someone suitable for you through your relationship with God and your relationship with yourself. You can also purchase Evolving the Entrepreneur, the premeditated assault on stagnation. The premeditated assault on stagnation. This book is all about not just playing defense, but learning how to play offense in whatever field or industry that you might be in so that you can see a profit. All right, fellas, that's it. That's my little plug for the halftime.
I'm a DJ. I don't DJ everything, but I do DJ a lot of stuff. So if you're calling me about serious business without a discount, I'll link you directly to my assistant or my manager. Don't be offended. This is what we want. We want these things to happen. We want to be able to have an assistant. I love this kid. We're having to. I was born in. Thank you. So listen, if you're looking for an amazing DJ that's going to read the room, give you everything you need, I'm that guy. But I'm not going to give you a discount.
Come on, Doug.
I have to charge you exactly what you need to be charged because I got to feed my son. These flights to Florida, they're not cheap.
You got the glow sticks? Oh, man. All right. Let's get into the second half of this show. Gee. God.
Jeff don't even got on a hat. He's still not fooling with nobody.
Not tonight.
This nigga Dub is too mature.
Oh man. Yo, Mike, that's your favorite music, dog?
100%. What's happening?
What's happening? All right, my bad. Katina asked where to get the books from. I didn't even tell y'all where to get the books from. I'm about to put it in the chat right now. You can go to DonovanDonnell.com. Where's our things that we usually have up here? Brand. Boom, there it is. Did it show? Oh, when I take this down, you'll be able to see where to get it from. Right there, DonovanDonnell.com, right there under my screen. We got a testimony. April says, Carrie Durrell, you did an amazing job at my wedding. April Sims. April Sims.
It's Sims.
April Sims.
Carrie Durrell did a great job as well.
I've never seen her do a bad job.
I wish it would have lasted a little longer, but thank you, sir. I'm not saying that was because
his wedding, his marriage. What are you talking about?
No, his marriage. I did his wedding too.
Both of y'all's should have lasted a little bit
I didn't
longer.
do my own wedding. I should maybe if I DJ my wedding, it would have. No, okay.
No,
So go ahead.
I agree. I hate it.
Your DJ has a different spirit on it. It did when you did mine.
I got a question. Gee whiz, fellas. There was a conversation that happened last week that I made a commercial for that got a lot of people's attention. I got a lot of feedback about that video and that girl. One lady hit me up and left me some voice memos about it. And I wanted to ask y'all, would you at some point tonight like to reopen that discussion?
I'm open to it.
Dub?
She said what she said.
Okay. And Carrie.
I'm with it. It's
All
just
right.
the video of the. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So we'll do it in a moment. I just want to see if you guys were open to it. A few people were looking for that tonight, so just let you know we'll tap into that in just a moment. But we're gonna start a little differently tonight. It's a movie. You know, we always have like, you know, stuff like, but there's a movie. I took a screenshot of it, and it's called the Awkward Moment. So check this out.
Every relationship arrives at a critical moment, a juncture between moving forward and moving on. I call that moment the so.
So, where's this going?
I think you're I think you're amazing. I think you're an amazing girl. I think you're amazing.
No, I'm breaking up with you. I have to.
Breaking up?
I'm sorry, Jason. I need somebody who's ready. I need somebody who doesn't drink coffee out of the cereal bowl.
What?
And has a bed frame.
I wasn't confused because she was breaking up with me.
I'm still late for work.
I was confused because I had no idea we were dating. I'm not even close to the guy you need, the guy you deserve. Like, I'm so sorry that I can't be that guy. In her defense, we've been having sex like once a week for 6 weeks.
I'm so late for work.
But in my defense, that's a hookup, approaching the seeing stage.
I'm sorry, Jason.
No, I understand. I understand. And what I understood was, at that moment, we were definitely not dating.
Comments, fellas. You ever had that so moment?
Yeah. I think
Where
I've
we
been on
going?
both
Where
sides.
is going?
I think I've been on both sides of that before. I think I've had the soul moment because kind of like her. I mean, we're doing all these things that dating people and couples do, but you know, nobody has mentioned any type of relationship. Nobody has mentioned any type of exclusivity. So what we doing? Because if we're not exclusive, then it's somebody else over here that I'd like to take out. If we're just dating.
Uh-oh.
So
Is that Carrie or Errol?
Go ahead,
Okay.
see.
Here's my question: do we as men, because last I checked, these men on this podcast only date women. Do we at any point act like we know what women think like? Do we actually go? We know how emotionally pressed they are, so we can't ignore things like I've been fucking her for 6 weeks every other day, and you mean to believe that there's no emotional attachment here? Even if she says, "Oh, I got 4 brothers and I was raised around all men and I know how to," yeah, whatever. You still emotional, and at some point, there's going to be a shift. We act like we don't know that this shift is coming, or this shift is there, or the shift is approaching. And so when that kind of moment, when the soul moments happen, we go, "What you like? Oh, I didn't know we were dating." Nick, you fucking knew that there was something there because you've been fucking her for 6 weeks, bro. So do we really get to ignore that because because we as men haven't had the conversation with her to let her know we're not dating?
So in the movie, there is I got you, Dub. I see you ready. In the movie, there are other women. I'm not gonna spoil everything. Who he has that arrangement with, and he tries to actually have a conversation with one of them. She was like, "No, that's not what we do. This is our arrangement." So I think that there are women who understand and want the arrangement. I don't think that all women. Okay, Dub, go ahead.
Oh.
when a nigga adjusts himself, something's coming. Go ahead.
So they've been having sex once a week for 6 weeks. They did it 6 times. Right?
Good math.
Once a week for 6 weeks, right? They fucked 6 times. At the beginning, did they ever have a conversation? Hey, are we just fucking? Are we doing something else? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he didn't even know that they were dating.
Right.
So To me, in my mind, that just sounds like a sexual relationship.
Right.
They probably, if he didn't even know that they were dating and all they said that we were just, you know what I'm saying, we were having sex once a week for 6 weeks, they wasn't going out on no dates. They wasn't doing, you know what I'm saying, all this extra shit. They was just fucking once a week, 6 weeks. Now all of a sudden she's got feelings, you know what I'm saying, because she got attached when it was nothing else to get attached to but the sex.
Wow.
So, but that's her feelings to control. That's her feelings to control. Without having a conversation about that, yeah, okay, cool. You get to the soul part, but wait a minute. You want to know, so what are we doing? So we just been fucking. Now, do you want to incorporate? No, seriously. Now, do you want to add something else to that? Do you want to date? At that point, so what are we doing? So this is what we've been doing. Now, do you want to date? Do you want to add something else to it?
Yeah.
At that point, we can have a conversation about it. But you can't just all of a sudden get in your feelings because we've been doing this for so long, and now you want to add something else, and now you perplexed that my mind is not, oh baby, you're my one. No, that's all we've been doing.
Can I throw something in on top of that real quick, D? I see you biting at the bit real quick. So I think that after that, if he would have said, I'd like to start dating, she wouldn't even brought up all those reasons why she couldn't see him no more. Literally, her feelings was hurt immediately. So she had to find, oh, I can't be with you because you're drinking coffee out of this. You don't have a bed frame. I need this. Well, if the man would have said, so I'd like to start dating you, none of those reasons would have even mattered. So I'm thinking like now you're trying to find a way out so you can save face. So you don't look like somebody that's just been having sex for fun.
Am I wrong?
Go ahead,
or at any point did she villainize him, or she just said I'm breaking up? Did she make herself a victim or anything at all? It just sounded like she just said,
but what's the breakup from? What's the breakup from?
Well, she was letting him know what she was doing. I'm breaking up with you.
That's not how I take it. That's not
in her mind. They were together. I don't recall her ever saying he was a bad guy. It just wasn't the guy that she wanted.
But that's not true. That's not true. She did want him when she realized that he was just like, what are you talking about? That's all of a sudden all these things were wrong with him and why she couldn't date him anymore and why she wanted to quote unquote break up.
She was trying to preserve her feelings. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I thought the movie was great, man. It's definitely one to watch and have a conversation about. That was a clip that I knew would spark a good conversation because I think that for myself, I've definitely found myself in that situation, both sides of that situation before. But yeah, those moments, those are the life changers. You know, those are the relationship changers. When you have that, what are we doing? Where are we going? And every time I come across that conversation, it makes me feel like, oh man, I wasn't as clear as I should have been.
Let me ask you this, D. Do you feel like those moments should happen a lot sooner in relationships than what you see that they do? Like, should that moment be like, we've been on a few dates, so where do you see this going?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I think that moment should come up organically. For every situation, it could be different. I wouldn't say that
though, because everybody doesn't do the same. Like my boy didn't have no moments. He's just like, we having sex. Period.
He had one later on in the movie. I'll tell you that.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, later on, he had him a very strong moment. I think that for me, I would just say like I'm very big on like, you know, people saying go with the flow. I think that every relationship should be approached from the unique personalities of the people in it. I do think that you can do your best to communicate, and there can still be miscommunication. I do think that you need to be cautious of who you laying down with, because there are some things that attach to us spiritually that affect us emotionally. And if it affects you emotionally, that means it affects you chemically. And if it affects you chemically, it can cause disease and illness in your life. Even if you don't catch an STD, you can catch something emotionally and spiritually. So I think that because these kind of misunderstandings and people don't always take the high road out, she could have wrecked his house or called her brother and all the other kind of stuff. It could have escalated into something, you know, like honestly, it ain't really that big of a deal just to, you know, get a nut off. So I just think that, you know, it's just, you know, just be wise and be careful. That's all I would really say about it. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. All right.
I like it.
Cool. Well, let's keep moving then. How about who? All right. You want Mike? We going black on black? We're going black on black. We're going black on black. All right, we're going black on black, y'all.
You can understand my struggle as a black man. When I come home at night, I don't want to have to explain to my wife, who may not be black, why I'm angry. Because I have friends who married outside, and they come back and they say to me, like, can you believe she's gonna say to me why everything has to be about race? And sometimes I say, bro, I can understand that because she's not black. You have to understand that you made that choice, so you have to educate her. I just felt like marrying a black woman is marrying someone who knows me and someone who can also teach my children how to be black. So for me, marrying a black woman and loving a black woman is like the epitome of loving myself.
Ooh. Sheesh.
Fellas.
Wow.
Black
because
on black.
That last statement really got me, because that's the antithesis of that is saying if I date outside my race, then I don't love myself.
Okay,
right?
Based on that last comment.
And that's yeesh.
Well, I do love myself, but it's not the epitome of self-love, is what he was saying.
Right. I feel like to each his own, number one. I feel like you love who you love, no matter what color or whatever they are.
Let me ask you. Oh,
yeah.
Is there an advantage to dating someone or marrying someone of your own race?
That's what my next point was going to be. I do agree with him in the fact that, you know what I mean, certain things, if I date, which I have, I think we all have dated outside of our race before, certain things you may have to explain, and you may have to educate on certain things, like, oh, well, I just had this big going back and forth with somebody about Independence Day and Juneteenth and the differences between the two and why one is but they weren't African American, so they didn't get it. They didn't understand. I feel like in a marriage, it would make the marriage a little bit more cohesive if it wasn't so many teaching experiences that had to be put into place. However, I don't feel that it's a make or break of the relationship, if that makes sense.
I hear you. That's Dub.
Yep.
What you got?
All right, so this is what I want to say. Let's be real here, right? It's not about this perfect scenario, about what could be, what this and what that, black families, like this, like that. You love who you love, you marry who you marry. That person gets you or they don't get you. You have plenty black relationships where, you know what I'm saying, black men is just struggling on even just being able to express itself as a man.
Yeah.
Right. I come home, I try to talk to my black woman and I can't even get her to shut up and listen to me. So it's like it almost makes me feel like, you know, like what it talks about in the Bible, like a prophet is accepted everywhere except his own home. So if I'm coming home to my black woman because she's so, you know what I'm saying, so much on how much she get pressure as a black woman, that when I'm trying to talk to her and I just say, hey, just listen to me, I can't even get you to shut up and listen to me because you just want to say whatever it is that you feel. So, and I'm not knocking anything on our black women to say everybody's like this, because nobody fit the perfect mold of everything, right? You can't just generalize and say all people are like this or all these people are like that. So you love who you love, you say what you say. In a perfect world, yeah, being with somebody, you know what I'm saying, of your same ethnicity like that, maybe they will get you. You think they will get you. You think they will understand certain things like that. Yeah, maybe they understand certain things like that, but then they bring you a whole nother world of problems and drama and issues on another hand. So when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, like, I like that couple. I love listening to that couple, but when it comes to love and relationships and life, you do life with the person that works best for you. Doesn't matter if they black, white, Asian, whatever. You do life with the person that works best for you. Not to say that this person understands and knows my struggle, so it's gonna make it better.
So when I'm listening to it, and I like what Earl said, because I'm listening to the video and I'm under the assumption that what you really want is someone who understands your struggle. Is experience the only way to understand it? What if you date and marry a black girl who failed Black history? Like, what if they just don't understand the struggle and they are black? And I say this because Carrie had to pull me to the side a couple of times because there's certain things about Black history. I'm just like, but Kanye said that slavery was a choice. No, but I understand. And I think that, you know, for me, answering for myself. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't hold one race over the other when it comes to, you know, who I'm going to marry. Could it be an advantage? Yes. But is that the biggest advantage that I need?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can clearly say that it's possible that it could be an advantage. But like Errol said, it's possible you can marry the same race and they know nothing of the culture. When Betty over here knows the culture backwards and forwards and been an advocate in every pep rally there's ever been. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't think that's a shoe-in that you're going to end up getting the support that you, and the understanding that you really desire as a black man.
Real quick, off topic a little bit. We were blocked on the Maybe There's a Whole page, I guess, for that last clip. So if anybody was, just go to one of our pages or go to YouTube. You can pick it up there. If you were watching the Maybe There's Help on Facebook and got blocked.
Interesting.
That was it.
All right. We can, if you want to go in there real quick and dispute it, Kerry. Just put in a quick dispute and they'll put it back up.
I just made it live again. We just went to
okay. Cool. Top of Viagra. Okay. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Jesus. Viagra just threw me. So my brother had to open my eyes to dating outside of my race.
You squinting still. You still squinting. Your eyes ain't really open. You
not really. But that's I feel like it's a personal thing, because where Donnie used to say it's like dating my sister and my mother, or Dub, you know, had an array of a vision of I could go this route. For me, it was nothing against. It was a different type of love for me. So I think that the experience of the things that you go through, you want to be with someone who can cultivate that in the moment with you. And you don't want to have to, I don't want to have to think about with what I'm saying, is it going to offend you while I'm in my moment of whatever has happened? Because this is still a relationship we're in, but now I have to I can't be or say everything that I want to say in this moment of feeling because I just got pulled over for no reason or whatever the situation may be. I can't express how I feel right now to you. I'm going to have to express that to somebody else. I can try and express it to you, but I still have to make sure that I'm not saying anything that's going to shift us. So now I'm dealing with the emotional factor of what I went through. Now I have to fix this relationship because I said something that might make you think I may feel this way about your family or this or that or whatever the situation may be. So for me, I think the advantage of dating someone who is such as yourself is a benefactor only because you allow it in some aspects, in this aspect that we're talking about, allows you to be free in your opinion, free in your moment, free in your expression, and not have to bring it back or even look for someone else to express that to if you are my partner.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. I've dated someone who was black, right? And she, whenever I would try to explain things like that to her, she said to me, well, I grew up privileged, so I'm spoiled, and that's not my experience, so I don't know what you're talking about. So anything and everything that I went through, I had to try to get her to understand my experience. So a black woman, I'm trying to get a black woman to understand my experience. And then the selfishness was there from her also, you know what I'm saying, in regards to other areas. So at that particular point, no way am I saying all black women like this. So I don't want nobody to take it personal and feel like I'm talking about all black women and feel like you just got to stand up and defend the whole black woman. No, I don't care about that. I'm not, if that's everybody's opinion and that's their take that they're going to have it. I'm not talking about every black woman. So you don't have to get on here and try to defend it. All I'm saying is sometimes you have those experiences when it could be with another person of your same race, ethnicity, and they don't necessarily all of a sudden just get it just because they're there. Everybody has different upbringings, and they have different way of life. You know what I'm saying? They have different, whatever it is. So just because somebody share that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be able to. I mean, just because somebody shares your skin color, your race, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to understand your struggle. So it's still, you still may have to go home and have to explain this to her, plus everything else that you have to explain to her. So if you got to explain it to her, why not explain it to somebody else too?
That's facts. At the end of the day, I think the takeaway for me is, you know, you love who you love regardless. And you know, it's up to you to decide if loving someone outside of your race is too much for you to handle, or if it's not. It is what it is. But I wouldn't not explore or not or overlooked anybody based on what could or what maybe or what if. You know, if we meet and we vibing and we mesh well together and all the moon and the stars align, and it don't really matter what color you are. As long as
I was just going to say, we all the same color when the
lights off.
When the lights go off.
As long as the ankles right, Donnie.
My mom told me, yeah, I mean, because she light-skinned black girl. My mom said, baby, I gave up in high school. I realized you wasn't bringing me a black girl home. I said, Mom, don't give up. Don't give up. It's like she put me in a very diverse high school, and I'm an explorer. I'm an adventurer. So what you expect me to do? I'm gonna test all the flavors. I'm gonna see what's out there. I mean, from
31 flavors,
from Russian to Indian to Sri Lankan to Russian again to Asian to Cambodian. Like, it's just, you start to just kind of
he had this Cambodian trip for like all right, go ahead. I'm sorry. We were just talking, right? That's what the show is about.
If you go on my Instagram page, you'll see what I had to even overcome with dating dark skinned people. And it wasn't even just black women. It was like, you could be Indian and be dark skinned. I had a struggle with that came from my childhood or whatnot, but everybody has their own struggles, you know what I'm saying? And I think that for me, I just had to make sure that I wasn't being biased towards my own race.
Let me ask you this though, could this possibly be a struggle?
Nope, know exactly what to do with it. No struggle at all. That, you know, Carrie and Errol just, that smile. Errol just smiled like he was third grade pictures.
Dream. Jesus Christ! Put on.
Oh man!
Let's see that video one more time.
No, we're moving on to the next one. We're gonna go into this conversation that people have been asking if we're gonna get into. So I'll play our commercial first, then I'll play the video.
Okay, go ahead. I'm okay now.
All of a sudden, everybody wants a black girl. All right, so I think that she has my advantage. It's that personality. All right, here we go.
I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I scratch this man's back to sleep, but I find joy in being your rest.
In the comments under that original post, women was roasting her. I don't understand why people frown upon a woman really going above and beyond for her man, especially if he's been the man he's supposed to be. Because she said, as long as it's mutual.
Don't do something as long as it's mutual with me. If you don't feel like it's mutual, then just get the fuck on. Don't be with me.
If you feel like I'm not giving you that mutual thing, just leave.
Who you are is who you are. Be that until you decide to leave. But don't stop doing it and be here. That's a waste of everybody's time. And
if it's not truly in your nature to be love and kindness in a relationship, be transparent in the beginning so we can make the decision.
I've been with women before who exposed me to parts of myself that I didn't know that I had. Maybe there was never an environment created for me to even see that side of myself. Because if I'm saying that that's not my nature, it doesn't mean that it can't become that.
If I love you, I can heal you.
She wants to be his mother.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you And I study you. Like, I know how you are in the morning. I know how you are about midday. I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like, before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, they're always like, oh, how you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining, but my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, you know? So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
What are you getting from all that you're giving? What are you asking for in return?
Okay.
That makes me smile every time I see it. Golly, it's
ladies and gentlemen, you asked for this this video again. This is your chance to jump in the chat and share. A few people shared some questions with me or some points with me that I'm gonna ask you guys, and then people in the chat can chime in as well if they haven't already. What are they getting in return? Amber Jellin says just be attentive, and Portia said I honestly love it. So here's something that came up. Is this mommy energy? She's talking about the rubbing of the back every night and make sure he has his meals and stuff. Is that overboard for a wife? Is this mama energy?
Nope. Is
you
she
don't think so?
No, she's taking care of her man how she wants to take care of her man. She's being, however, submissive, and not even just submissive. She's been attentive to her man. She's focused and she's intentional about her man. Period. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's mommy issues at all. She's intentional about her man. If she, you know what I'm saying, she loved that man. She rub his back. You know what I mean? She do whatever it is that she's doing for him, and that's wonderful.
I feel like so. I'm in agreement with Dub as far as that is a wonderful thing, but if I'm being honest and just what I'm learning about myself with certain issues I have as far as moms go, I think it is a little bit of motherly energy in there, because at the end of the day, we're all little boys in adult bodies, and we're all young girls in our adult form. So certain things maybe we didn't get, or certain things where we did feel that sense of comfort and that sense of protection that we don't get from the outside world. Maybe we are not in a sexual way, of course, but maybe we are getting those same kind of feelings from the woman that we are sexual with or are romantic with, and so we are correlating that with that. But even with that motherly energy, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
That's you, Dub?
Yeah, that's me. Okay. So I don't think there's anything motherly about that, honestly. I feel like that's your person. I feel like you care about that person. You want the best for that person. You want to make that person feel good. You can feel the energy exchange between you and that person. Even if you guys are just in each other's face and you guys kiss and you guys just sitting there breathing each other's breath. You know what I'm saying? It's just those levels of intimacy, however it is, whether she's rubbing your back, whether you rubbing her back, whether you rubbing her feet because she just came home from work and you just looking at the look on her face, and or she's been walking around, whatever, you rubbing her feet, you rubbing her legs, you rubbing her shoulders. It's just you being attentive to your person. And I don't think that has anything to do with motherly, the nurturing that you didn't get or that you used to get from your parents. I think that's just a simple fact that that's your person and you want to please that person, period, hands down.
Here, you got something you want to
add? I agree with Dub. I mean, in a relationship or in that form, I mean, I like my back rubbed. But if my mama rubbed my back, I'm gonna go to sleep because it's comfortable, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's a nurturing, and that's a woman nurturing you. If my woman rubs my back, you know, she may rub my back, and I may go to sleep, or I may give her that I'm sleeping, I raise up and let her slide them off. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different situation. You know what I mean? But it's still the fact of nurturing. You know what I mean? A woman is a nurturer. That's what she does. That's what she does as a mother. That's what she does as a lover.
But God put that in women to be mothers, though. That nurturing fact is
did he just say that it was only to be a mother, or did he, or are you nurturing in the aspect of being a being of a woman?
As far as I know, it's
because
mothering.
Because where God set up for where she is our rib, doesn't that nurturing come from that aspect of she came from me, so she knows what I need?
Are we saying that men don't nurture, or we haven't been called to? Or
no. We're talking about what this woman did. We're not going outside of that. We're talking about this video. We're talking about what she says she does, and how someone else said that it could be mothering. My whole thing is I don't think it's mothering. I think it's vagina-ing. I mean, I feel like that's something that a lot of women have that maybe that every woman doesn't necessarily tap into. But I do believe that it's there. I do believe that it comes naturally. I think that men have to develop being nurturing. I think that sometimes isn't something that comes so naturally. But I think for women, I think that's something that just it comes. It happens. It is. It's their being.
Okay. All right. So I'll put this up because somebody else said the same thing. She said, I think women got upset when they found out her man is Cam Newton. But she said something earlier. Let me see if I can find it. She said, I think it's great. Ashley said, I think it's great. She just needs to check in with herself when she gets in those draining moments and make sure her cup is full also. So these two go together. One of my friends, one of the people who hit me up said, would she be doing it that way if her man wasn't, breading her off like that because her man got bread? Would she do that for a normal guy? And also, is it being reciprocated, or she's doing this out of fear? Is it like a chore or a chore thing, a to-do list she feel like she has to do every day? Because haven't women outgrown that? Aren't we more than just the household stuff we can do? Aren't we more than that?
That's the damn problem. That's the problem.
I got a question with that. Do you get to remove
exactly
that is the problem because you Go ahead, bro.
And that's the same thing I said. That's the problem right there. Like women, they run from the submissive word, right? But then they wanna talk about where the Bible says, "Husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church. He gave his life for. You want me to give my life for you, but you don't want to submit to me." That's also what God said, right? So you want to look at part of it, and then just like what you was just now talking about, bro. It's like, oh, I've outgrown these things, so now I'm at a different level. I'm a different woman now. So what about all the other things that you know what I'm saying, did or used to do as a woman? But what about all these things that you still want me to do as a man? What if I say, hey, I outgrown those things. I don't do these things anymore because, hey, we're at a different level of life right now. Do I get that right to just say, hey, I don't do those things anymore? Or do I say, hey, still as a man, I'm still doing certain things for my woman, period?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I also agree with the post you put up, Donnie. I don't know what her name was. Her name Alexis or Alex?
Ashley,
yeah. I agree with Ash. I feel like that's great that she does that. I think that the important part is to do those self check-ins with herself and make sure her own cup is full. And if she sees that it's full and she's getting whatever she needs out the relationship, then more power to her. I don't think that that's a harsh thing to say. Haven't women outgrown that? Haven't women outgrown what? Being attentive to their man or catering to their man, if you will. I don't think that's something that you grow out of. I think that's, I love my partner, so I'm gonna do.
Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this question, Mike, so you can finish that statement, because I want to make sure that I'm conveying these people's idea properly and not butchering it. That their identity doesn't just lie in that they're more than that. That's what I'm kind of, I think that's what the energy was that I was getting from it. Like we're not just, second class citizens. We're not just, homemakers. Like the message was that men aren't always fit to lead because they're not strong at everything. Sometimes the woman should be leading. And so aren't we more than that? And if somebody else came behind that and said, if she's showing that kind of energy, she's showing a man that if they have kids, like this is who I am, this is what I do. It makes him even more comfortable to want to have kids with you because they know they're going to be cared for. But aren't the women more than just people who make babies and take care of babies? Aren't we more than that by now?
I feel like the truth that based on the video, I feel like the truth that Cam's wife lives in is that this is who she is as a wife, and she's okay with that. And I don't think anybody else should have anything to say about it. I
got from some. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying this is her. This is her truth. This is Cam's wife's truth. And I feel like as long as that's really what it is, and she's living in that, and she clearly thinks everything is okay with it, then let it be okay. Let it be okay.
How about this? None of us are Cam, so we don't know what Cam needs. Maybe that is exactly what Cam needs, and as the woman she is in the position she is doing her job, and she's doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's not your job, if you don't have a Cam that doesn't need his back rub, then back rubbing is not for you, baby. But if he needs a sandwich,
hey, come on, E. Come on, E. Get your sandwich, bro. Get your sandwich,
he needs a sandwich.
Come on,
you need to have the lettuce, the mayo, whatever it is. No white stuff for Doug. But
there it is.
Whatever it is that needs to be there for that sandwich, that's a back rub.
Your
man needs his back rub in some aspect. It may be a sandwich. It may be head. It may be talking during, getting him through this conversation because he's a coach. Like, whatever it is, that's your job because that's the one fucking person you chose. You chose him. You made the decision. So at least trust your own choice.
So she said this, and she said that that's her biggest flex, how she treats her man. And there was some pause to take with, this is my biggest flex, and my love can heal you. Those, for a few women, those seem to be red flags. And this is from women interpreting another woman's body language and the way that she's talking. Like, those can be red flags. How do you guys feel about that?
So I'll say this. If that's piggybacking off what Carrie just said, if that's what she's doing, if that's what her man doing, ladies, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all ready? Y'all listening? That ain't your shit. So stop worrying about it. Stop worrying about what she do for her man. If that's what she's saying, if that's her biggest flex, let that be her biggest flex. If you got a problem with it, that don't have to be your flex. Same thing for us men. You know what I'm saying? It goes the same way. It goes the same way with us. Just because one man do something, he can say, hey, that's his superpower. If that works for him, that works for him. That don't mean that we have to copy it, but that also don't mean that we have to get upset when he says that's what he does and that's what works for him. I feel like a lot of times people are so busy trying to generalize shit that they don't understand everybody is an individual. Everybody is an individual. What works for one may not work for the next. You know what I'm saying? Even if you found 10 people that it worked for the 11th, it may not work. So understand that, you know what I'm saying? Some things may work for the masses, but it doesn't work for everybody. And once you understand that your person is your person, that you're an individual, just like they're an individual, you're working on what that person needs and what you're capable of giving to that person, then it works. But the thing is, like, people need to stop being so worried about everybody else's shit and pay attention to their own.
I think in all fair, I agree, because you don't never know what a person is dealing with at home. I think in all fairness, though, we do on the show present the opportunity for people to deposit their opinions, and we want to continue to welcome that.
We just got to,
but at the same time, recognize that.
That's what I'm saying. You have to do that. You know, you can have an opinion about everything.
Yeah. At the same time, recognize that, man, what works for one may not work for another. How you guys feel about this? Mike, happy belated. She said, I'm all for being submissive and nurturing, etc. I don't think she's getting hate because of her message. I believe it was because she was the messenger.
Oh, see, I don't have no background on her personally, so I wouldn't know. Like, I don't know this lady. I just heard what she said. And we you know what, D? You know what I was thinking too? A lot of times, you know what I mean? We got to make sure that, and I'm saying we, but I'm really speaking for the ladies that are leaving some of the comments. We got to make sure that when we're leaving comments, because sometimes we see you know, or I'll say they. Sometimes they can see a whole bunch of men leaving like right-ons, and yeah, I need a woman like that, and that can create a sense of jealousy because you're not that way. So now you're lashing out, saying, "Oh no, I would never do that. She's setting us back." And yeah, why? Because she got all these men on here wanting a woman like that, or you know what I'm saying, or did you have a situation to maybe once you were like that and then you got treated dirty, so now you think that you shouldn't go back that way? Like, go ahead, see.
That right there is a lot. I feel like this is just me. I'm just a man. I got a penis. I don't really know what vaginas think in this matter.
Got a
But
penis.
what I do think, and from my mindset, is that women generally want to be that way. They generally want to give that, but something they've either seen or something has happened that allows them to think that there is something wrong with this. Be it the man that didn't do well with what was given, be it the father that didn't accept it when it came from the mother, whatever it is that caused that mindset to not be what this is, it's okay. We're not telling you that what you've seen or what you've been through is not okay and your thoughts about that are not okay. I'm telling you that that's not everybody's. And because it is not everybody's, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that she's wrong. It means that you guys have experienced something different. Because like Dub said, we are all individuals. We are all different. So what you may have gotten from this, gotten from that, taken from this, or had happened to you is not gonna, it just may happen again, but it may not. So the thing is, you have to cultivate what works for you. That's it.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Well then,
let me ask something real quick, bro.
Okay.
Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a thought, right? Whatever your thoughts is, everybody is free to have an opinion, a thought, whatever it is about whatever situation that comes across their mind or comes across their thought process, whatever it is that come across their eyes, their eye gate, their ear gate, whatever. Everybody's entitled to feel some type of way, to have an opinion. But just because we have an opinion and we feel some type of way doesn't mean that that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that, because if I have an opinion about something, I can't sit up here and get mad and just say, no, you got to do this and you got to do this and you got to do that. I can say, hey, that's the way I prefer it. Okay. I say it all the time. Look, everybody can do whatever it is that they want to do. If it works for me, then it works for me. If it don't work for me, then I'm going to remove myself. But I'm not going to tell somebody what they can and can't do. I know certain things like, people may do, and it's their prerogative. Right. They're capable of doing whatever it is that they want to do. Once again, if she want to spoil her man, let her spoil her man. If people got a problem with her, then let them deal with whatever problem that they have. You know what I'm saying? If that's their own stuff that they going through in their mind, then that's something that they have to fix.
So I'm getting some messages about, why the hate would appear. Because Mike said on the first episode, she got a lot of hate for that. So Michael said she said a lot of things contrary to this. So it appears she has changed because she's dealing with Cam. And I got another text message said, y'all need to listen to the full episode where her husband and sister come on. And so there's clearly more to this conversation. I asked her if she had a link. She sent me the link. So if you guys are interested, I'll share it with you. But I think that for the sake of our podcast, it's good to have these kind of conversations because all kind of personal stuff will always come up. I think that's what we create a great environment for your own feelings and emotions to come up in, and we can all just have a look and say, okay, how much of this?
No, go ahead. Finish up.
Humble as a pat. I'm just kidding. No, I was finishing.
And I agree with you.
No. Damn it.
No, I was no. Yep.
It's been a while. It's been a while for that one, Mike. That was good.
She found love and she found it with Cam. Her perception and perspective changed. She's happy where she is. I don't even need to read the rest. I can actually go back a sentence. Her perception and perspective has changed. Do you guys realize that that's what happens when someone brings what's the word you use all the time, Donnie? When you bring something to their life, better quality,
value.
Yes, When you bring back, I couldn't find it for some reason. When you bring value to someone's life, their perception and their perspective change. That is growth. And if you with a man or you with a woman and you don't desire for their growth, you are a selfish motherfucker. Excuse me for using such foul language in that fashion. But how can you say you love someone and you don't want to see them grow? How can you say is it because you don't want to see them grow and grow beyond you?
Blue.
Whatever it is, perspectives and perceptions change, and that's what I desire. Now, if we're growing together, that's even more better.
Somebody said that what she gained was them M's. That's all Kim bought was them M's. That's what made her perception change.
Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Rub my fucking back. Back my clothes.
Tell you like this. I'm gonna get married and come on here and say I disagree with everything I've said previously to the I was wrong. I was wrong about everything.
Hey, real quick. I know we passed time, but Donnie,
it's our show. We do what we want. What's up?
Kind of like your post. You don't ever give your standpoint on how you feel about it. You've heard from me and Carrie and Dub. How you feel about it?
Oh, okay. I mean, sometimes I just get in that position of wanting the conversation to go forward.
Right.
But
it's not one of those times, though.
But bang.
Humble is the path. Humble.
You should have saw Doug. That was like, damn.
Humble is the path. Errol, love you, bro. Thank you for continuing to reiterate freedom in my mind on a consistent basis, because I'm not gonna abandon my freedom and dive into ego, and because this bitch. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. How do I feel about it? To be honest,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I just think it's a good conversation, honestly. At the end of the day, she's not my woman, it ain't my back. And I'm like Dub. Like, I need my back rubbed, and Dub need his sandwich. So that's good for them, and that works. I mean, but honestly, man, it's great that, you know, if her perspective is shifted, there's a lot of information we don't have. I love the fact that anybody can get on in a public setting and share how they feel today. I told you guys a long time ago, my mentor told me, he said, everything you say is so far. Everything is so far. No matter how passionate you are, no matter how convicted you are about what you feel and what you think you know today, it's only so far, because something can happen today or tomorrow to change your perspective totally. So stay humble and be willing to change your mind. Don't be, if this has been my narrative for 30 years, I met somebody and my perspective is shifted, and because I don't want to be embarrassed, I go out and still try to publicly present myself like I haven't been changed. That's a disservice to you and that person. You're probably gonna self-sabotage it because of that. Be willing to say, I made a mistake, I was wrong, I'm still learning, I feel differently, and change your mind again. I mean, it don't matter, man. Just whatever your path is, live your path out. And if people are gonna judge you for doing it left or right, so you know, I think that this is a good opportunity for us to see where we are and make sure that when we get in these situations that we don't do what we say we don't like, or if we do it, say, I'm sorry, I was wrong before, now I want to see it done differently.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that's never gonna change for me about the things that I like and I don't. Never gonna change.
It's a little bounce after the little.
Yeah, that's nice. Listen, that's
Who did that? Was that Carrie? Oh man. Oh man. Well, I think that Mike said something that was extremely important. Are we doing another one, or are we closing the show out?
Yeah, let's close it out.
Mike said something that was extremely important. Sometimes it's, you know, these conversations we engage in allow us to see something about ourselves, and maybe there is, you know, something was triggered inside of you, and you recognize in this moment, you know, say, oh damn, like that situation totally took control of me emotionally or mentally, or maybe you disagree with everything that we're saying and you want to find a better way to convey what you believe in a podcast setting or in a book or something like that. You need to learn how to better communicate. I say it like this, man. This is for everybody. 24-hour mental health hotline. Remember, we talk about mental health being the access to your best life because it helps you make your best decisions. It's not just for people who have trauma. Therapy, counseling, support groups is not just for people who have trauma. It could be for someone who's trying to develop a skill. I think that a lot of times on this show, what I've recognized is certain people in the audience who are trying to chime in, they're trying to put words to their emotions and how they feel, and they're struggling with it. And what you feel and what you think may be actually what could be the key to helping us, but you just don't know how to put it into words. And I think that, even therapy can help you with that. Put it into words. So it could be a skill set you're trying to develop, or it could be therapy that you're trying to get healed from or made whole. It could be a mindset you can't seem to shake. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll see that I put up something from this guy who studies neuroscience and quantum physics, and he talks about the mind and how it connects to the body and healing. And I think that it's worth investing in. Your mental health is worth investing in. It impacts you more than you understand, on a biological level and even your future. So start that journey today if that's something that you feel like you really want to sit down and talk to somebody about some of the issues you're facing or some of the inadequacies you feel like you have that you want to get developed. You can call 1-800-854-7771, 1-800-854-7771. We have an incredible testimony. One of our viewers actually got a chance to call this number for a coworker. She didn't have the number at the time, couldn't remember it, and ended up reaching out to Errol. Errol gave her the number. They got the person the help that they needed, and that's all we really want to disclose from that situation. But she was so grateful. She was like, Errol really showed up for me today, even though we put this number on the show every week. She just didn't have it. And if Errol had not been available, that could have been a bad situation. So write this number down, take a screenshot, or call Errol. If you need this number, 1-800-854-7771. And all jokes aside, man, like Errol, I thank God that you were available and checking your direct message at the time or the text message, whatever it was, she reached out to you so she can get that number from you. Because I told you guys before, if this podcast exists just to save one life, it was worth it. Everything we do during the week to prep for this, every time we show up and do 2 hours, it was worth it if it saved one life. That's important to God. That's important to the kingdom. So we thank you guys for the way you contribute and the way you pay attention. If you have any insight or other videos or posts you would like for us to discuss on this podcast, go to maybe this will help the podcast at gmail.com. And yeah, well, we appreciate you guys. Amen. Errol. Yeah. Fellas, y'all got anything y'all want to add to that?
Nope. Nah. Great show, guys. In my high voice.
The same thing.
What voice was that?
We
Great
gonna
show, guys.
sounds like Denim. I mean, not yet. A little bit. Denim CJ mix. We gonna have Kerry pray us out since he's back with us tonight. Reverend Baptist False Alarm Darrell.
Gonna be quick. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Father God. We thank you for all the many blessings that you've stored upon us and our family, Lord. Often we come with words of admiration and words of gratefulness, Lord. But we just want to say thank you, Father God. Thank you for the ability to have the ability, Father God. We thank you for all the things, for blocking the things that we don't see, for giving us the things that we do need, the things that we don't need are pushed far away because we know that it is not in your plan, Father God. And even if we believe that it should be in your plan, Father God, we don't know better than you. So, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything that you've done for us and our families. We ask that as we go throughout this week that you continue to cover us as you have always done, Father God. One thing that I have realized is that I have never gone without, regardless of what the situation looks like, Father God. You have never failed me, Father God. So I know for a fact that you will not fail me in the future, Father God, because you are not capable of doing it, Lord. And if anything that I'm not getting, it is because of I don't need it, or because it is something that I am not doing to be there to get it or receive it at this time, Lord. So I'm asking that you cover me, guide me, and do the same for everyone that is listening, those that need it, Father God. Touch us in a special way, Father God. We thank you for all the many blessings that you have given us and will continue to give us. Cover us throughout the week, our jobs, the people that we touch. Let us conquer much more land, Father God. And we thank you and we praise you. And for you are the only one to get all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, real quick, right before we go, I just want to share something that
I don't care. I don't care.
that was good. No, that was good. No, that was good. Listen, that was good. No, but he told me when I had reached out to him about stuff that I was going through or whatever. He told me, and it stuck
I
with me.
don't care.
He said, don't give up, and it stuck with me, and it caused me to have a shift in my way of viewing things, my way of viewing certain situations that I found myself in. So I just like to repeat that to everybody else. No matter what you're going through this week, or dreading to go into work, or you got a situation you're going through, it's going to be a rough week. Just don't give up. Just push through it. Ask God for help. Donnie gave a number. Reach out to the number. Whatever it takes. Just don't give up. That's it.
Amen.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Touche.
Touche.